Hello, gorgeous soul. Welcome to the October astrology. Oh, it's very intense. We are right in eclipse season. It's been like a roller coaster. And here we are kicking off on the 2nd with a solar eclipse and a new moon in Libra. We are feeling things very, very intensely. What do eclipses do? They reveal what is hidden. And this, being in Libra, is all about our intimate relationships, our one-to-one relationships, our romantic relationships, business partnerships, if they're one-to-one, even your relationship to your best friend. But whatever it is, something that we didn't know, not necessarily about them, could be about ourselves and the way that we relate emotionally, is being revealed. And at the time, you might find it very intense, particularly because it is very strongly connected to Mercury, the planet of communication. And what is Mercury? The messenger. Now, always remember with an eclipse, even though it's quite intense at the time, we don't have the full picture straight away. We get a little glimpse into what's going to be revealed, but we don't have all the news. So try not to jump to conclusions when it comes to this eclipse in Libra. And awaken to the message of the new moon in Libra, which is about starting things again, a fresh cycle, upping our vibration when it comes to our intimate relationships, when it comes to harmony, when it comes to communion of spirits and souls. So how are you feeling about your relationships at the moment? Are they going well? Do you have great balance with the people that you're connected with? Or do you feel that there's something out of balance? I feel slightly out of balance because the fridge is deciding to take this moment to make some ice. So bear with, it won't take long. And Mercury isn't even retrograde. Anyway, so with this revealing eclipse, you've got to make a decision, right? What do I want to step into in the next cycle of my intimate and close one-to-one relationships? Business partnerships, whatever. How do I want to change to find more balance? And what do I want to see reflected from the universe back to me in this next phase when it comes to love and relationships? Now, I have to say, not everyone agrees with this, but I personally and several other manifestors will say to you, I don't recommend manifesting when there's eclipse because you don't really know or what you're going to manifest. So up to you, but I suggest we do the work, we look at the picture, we see what's revealed rather than instantly manifesting. I mean, back in the day, in the primordial times, eclipses were considered a bit dodgy, a bit of a negative omen, and it's just, I don't feel the energy is clear to go forward with manifesting at that time, only for 2.5 days. But keep your mind clear, be open to going within and reflecting on what you want, rather than going, I call in this. Anyway, so this new moon solar eclipse is very big for all of us. We are in the midst of this massive shift of energy, and it's about allowing yourself to go through that process without freaking out, right? Because sometimes, like, if something comes up, we might go, ah! Particularly if it's something to do with a partner communicating something and we don't really want to hear it, we're not ready to hear it. Again, the eclipse will rip away the mask and reveal everything later on. So don't jump to conclusions, is what I always say with eclipse energy. Interestingly, on the 4th, we have Saturn and Venus in a lovely trine. Now, Saturn is always a little bit of hard work because Saturn's saying, okay, what do you want to commit to? And this is in connection to love and abundance. What are you committing to? What do you want to commit to? And where are you going in your life? If you're in a relationship where you feel, and any kind of relationship, and you feel that someone's controlling you, or you feel that it's just very oppressive, you're going to have a reaction. And this trine will give you the power, the strength, and the self-love to step out of it. On the other hand, it may be that you have this amazing opportunity to commit to something that you do love and it goes fabulously well and it's the right decision. Also, as it's abundance and not just love, that you may be getting involved in a new project that you are really hyped up about and that you adore. And yeah, great results. It's all going in the right way for you. Now, Jupiter, the planet of good fortune. It's the planet that stretches us, wants us to grow, wants us to gallop to new horizons, is going retrograde, is going backwards. I don't think this is a bad thing. It's interesting because Jupiter's been in Gemini, right? So we're like, rah, rah, I want to stretch in this way. I want to stretch in that way. I want to do this. I want to do that. I've got this idea. I've got that idea. And while that's fabulous, it's likely that we haven't followed through all of the way to where those ideas wanted to take us. So Jupiter retrograde goes, hang on a minute, here we are. Which one of these ideas, which one of these projects do you really want to dive into and build foundations for and build upwards? And I think you're going to find it, we're all going to find it really, really interesting and positive when Jupiter goes retrograde in Gemini. It's a good thing. Now, of course, the very big news of this month is that Pluto is going direct in Capricorn again at the anarchic, no, that's wrong. Anaretic degree, and this is very, very powerful. It's the 29th degree, and as you know, because every astrologer known to all humanity has been banging on about it, this is the final stage of this. We've had it since 2008. It's the final stage of this incredibly intense Pluto in Capricorn, and it's about who is governing us in the world. What does society look like? Who's in control and what are they doing? And there's been this sort of big rise of people wanting power for power's sake. And as it's an outer planet, you know, we're looking at what's going on in the external world, as well as looking at our own life and how our structures have changed, what we believe is important, our bottom line, and what goals that we want to go after, what goals we have gone after since 2008, and how we view responsibility. And, you know, it has been a roller coaster, and it is a great big tipping point as we learn the final lesson. But in good news, we are right at the top of that mountain now, and we are very nearly over the hump. And we will never be the same again, but we will have learned great skills, great tenacity of spirit, and a great ability to know that if we keep going, we will get to the top of that mountain. And that is what Pluto wants to give us. How have you transformed? Because Pluto is all about transformation. Life, death, rebirth, sex, obsession, power, powerlessness might have also been very strong themes since 2008. But we are at that point now where we have to really have an awakening within ourselves. Well, we probably already started to have it, where we go, right, what is my bottom line for this next phase of my life? What are my true beliefs? What am I going to commit to? What do I believe in? And what am I going to put all my energy, force and tenacity into? It's very full on. Anyway, we're nearly through it. You know, it certainly is interesting times with this end of days Capricorn. And as I'm just about to do a video for next year, because next year is not just life changing, it's generational changing. It's changing the whole world. We're going from one kind of world to a whole different world, and it's going to be full on. And I think the first year is going to be very, very revolutionary and intense, because the outer planets are changing. There is this big shift in consciousness. Thankfully, I do believe we've all gone into a great awakening, and we're more aware of what's going on, and we can help guide the universe into going in a way that is actually more about freedom, more about understanding all of our equality, more about, yes, you know, very interesting technology to come, rather than it just kind of going to an extent where everything is out of our control and everything is monitored with cameras. Anyway, trust me, it's going to be interesting. But it's very different, Pluto in Aquarius full-time, than Pluto in Capricorn, because it is about freedom. It is about being an individual, but fundamentally being aware that we are part of the whole. And that is super important. And we cannot ignore that. Rather than the individualistic Pluto in Capricorn, me, power, 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 greed, 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 we're moving into us, us, us. How can we all uplift ourselves and there be deeper connection to each other? But also it does invoke the individual in us, the unique soul, the tiny little cog we are in the wheel, but we understand that we're the wheel, not just the cog. Does that make sense? Am I going too far off piece with that? I'm going to tell you all about it in a video about that. On the 13th, we have Mercury, the planet of communication, going into Scorpio. And it brings about very deep communication. We will not be able to deal with superficial conversations or superficial people. We will get the ick from that. What we want is true connection. We are talking about, again, life, death, rebirth, sex, obsession, money. You know, there is no casual conversation that will be had. And also, this whole month really has this energy of secrets are being revealed. There are revelations. We are sensing things. We are knowing things. We are seeing the shadow in things, and that liberates us. We also can plug in to charging our charisma and our sensuality and our, walk into a room and, you've got that intense look and other people are taking notice of you in a really deep way. If you go on a date, you're going to want to talk about the meaning of life. You're not going to want to be talking about anything superficial. So look out for deep conversations. Now, then we have the full moon in Aries. We've gone through a kind of 6-month process since the eclipse in Aries. And now here we are with a full moon in Aries, and it is square Mars. So there is this feeling of, it's all a bit tricky in a way. It's like, okay, where is my power? And if you are not expressing your anger, your dissatisfaction, you might have a reaction on that day. But you know what? The power of this full moon in Aries is saying it is important that you express your anger, you express your true feelings, and do not be passive aggressive like Mars in Cancer can be, because that's not going to serve anyone well. Because, if we're passive aggressive, we resent the fact that we can't actually speak our truth out loud and straight in someone's face. Or faith. I mean, there's all that going on. So it's like, the question is, why don't you express your anger? Why don't you express your dissatisfaction if that's something that you can't do? And this full moon in Aries is going to tell you straight out how to do it. Also, I have to say, if somebody's being passive aggressive with you, it's going to piss you off far more than it normally would, because it's all about, Aries is all about direct. I am direct. I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm going to tell you what I feel. And when the full moon is there, everything within us wants to speak the truth, wants to be spontaneous, wants to be upfront. It's a good, positive, happy, joyful moon if you want it to be, but it does ask us to go within and look at our relationship, to our integrity when it comes to communicating what we feel. Right. Next, Venus, the planet of love, goes into freedom-loving, fiery Sagittarius. We are bounding around, feeling very excited about life. We want to travel. We want to explore. We want to find lovers that are really different and interesting and have a unique soul and think out the box and maybe look different or have a different lifestyle to whatever lifestyle we have. We're fascinated by the other, by people that are expressing something that we don't express. But it also allows us to draw in abundance in unusual ways. The more authentic you are, the more abundance you can draw to you when Venus is in Sagittarius. It likes you to be free. It likes you to trust by going out on a limb in some way. I'm not saying being reckless. Do not be reckless. Not when we've got Pluto at that degree. But it is saying be fearless. Be fearless in how you want to draw things in. Finally, on the 22nd, we have the sun going into Scorpio, and it's Scorpio's season. We are heading towards, of course, Halloween, all things spooky, all things intense, and all things that are hidden and exciting and taboo. So there is that flavor. Look after yourself. Awaken your inner mystery during that time. And explore the mysteries with other people, and you will feel pretty satisfied. Okay, I'll take a breath, and then have a sip of water, and we will look into what the tarot has to say about this month. I am using the Knight-Waite Tarot, my deck. Highly recommend. Put my heart and soul into it. And the guidebook will teach you or show you how to read tarot like I do in a boom, boom, boom. Let's get to the meaty truth way. Okay, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. What advice do we need for October? Let's see. October advice. Okay, first card. We have the Page of Cups. Remember and honour your sweet, innocent little soul. It can be very difficult when we're going through tempestuous astrology, or astrology that kind of reveals things and can be challenging and exciting and thrilling. But, you know, we're all little kids at heart. There is no human being, whether they're 80 years old or 100 or 50 or 90, that will say to you that they feel grown up. We all are our inner child. We all feel like a kid. We all wonder how we got here. And remember, that gorgeous little inner child in you wants you to sort of be playful with your ideas, with your spirituality, to understand your own innocence and your own purity of spirit. And everyone, no matter what they've experienced, whatever naughty things they've got up to in their life, has a pure spirit. We are not in a world where, you know, that stops being. You are that little kid. Be sweet to yourself and look out for some tender stems of ideas that can lead you forward in October. The next card, the Five of Pentacles. Yes, you might feel at certain points, oh my goodness, I'm going through emotional or even financial poverty. What am I to do? But the Five of Pentacles doesn't say this is the way that it is, this is the way that it stays. It actually says, if you look at the card, it's saying to you, look, right there in front of you, there is sanctuary, there is a place where all of this can transform. So eclipses are a bit like going through the dark night of the soul. So if you feel in the moment, oh my goodness, this is just terrible, this card is actually giving you the knowledge that this too shall pass and it's very, very good. But it, you know, honor your emotions. If you are feeling sad, if you are having problems with worry, honor that, but don't slip into it too much. Try and find your passion. The lovers, try and find your passion for life, your passion that can help you recover if you're focusing on anything that the eclipse season has brought up for you, you know. And this card is renewed passion. I have 3 lovers cards in my deck. One, they represent different sexualities, but really that's not the main point. The main point is they represent 3 different kinds of love. And this one is about suddenly regaining our passion. And our passion and our desire for life and our hunger to experience something in the moment, even if it's just drawing a sketch or going for a walk or having an idea of something we want to build in the future, is the juice that gets us through. Finally, the King of Pentacles. Ground yourself now. Venus and Saturn are saying we want to build something that's long-lasting that you're going to love. You know, we just had the Lovers card and now we've got the King that's saying you can own this. You can own your desires. You can own building something that you love. And if there's anything uncomfortable that comes up this month, you know, it's there to work through so that you can end up being the King of Pentacles and the Lovers. You're able to build your desires because you face things that maybe before you ignored, that eclipse season has brought to a head. Anyway, I send you so much love. Come see me on Instagram, at Michele Knight. Take care, gorgeous soul, and I'll speak to you soon.